Jupiter, the planet of expansion and luck, is definitely a wonderful one. It is definitely big and loud and benefic. It's that gas giant in the solar system that wants to make everything big. And it doesn't want to, like Saturn, which is very, very much about putting the work in. Jupiter is different. Jupiter, just wants that goodness to come in. And, well, you experience that goodness with Jupiter direct or Jupiter retrograde, but maybe the effects of the goodness can be less or dimmed with Jupiter retrograde. Not to be negative, because I don't want to be negative here when I'm talking about this. But whenever planets are retrograde in your natal chart, it is reflective, where you're looking inside of yourself and you're on a sort of journey for growth and evolution. And there could also be some stuff to work out, some karma and some challenges of the area of life, not exactly super easy and mastered, checked off that list of this possession, that possession, have all these things, and then I can celebrate life. But when, Jupiter is retrograde, it could indicate delays and maybe a lesser feeling of abundance and gratitude for all the things in your world and all of the opportunities that life has to offer. All those things like, riding on a roller coaster, or maybe finding a way to be the star and be on, TV, putting yourself out there. There could be limitations with this when it comes to expressing yourself and going on your own journey of, maybe limits to, other people's perspectives and other cultures and other ways of looking at things. And there may be, some limitations with that as well. And so, with Jupiter retrograde, I'm going to read to you some effects that Jupiter retrograde has in your natal chart. So it says on this page, I'm just referring to this page because there's so many different things. So viewpoints can be vastly different from others, especially their immediate family. Person, Jupiter retrograde, going their own way. There could be times when they aren't open to speaking their opinions. That introversion. The person's optimism could be muted at times, not, seeing the glass half full, or seeing the light and getting so caught up in the flaws and what's wrong, and so much into, the small stuff and the details of life, where, you kind of need to look at that magnifying glass and sort of pull it away to then be able to see all the continents of Earth and the water surrounding those continents. So, Again, risk-taking, stepping out there, putting yourself into the world might be more challenging. Learning in terms of formal education could be hazy or have a few delays. So some educational delays of sort of catching on to the book smart way of, maybe, beyond the A plus B equals C, maybe just several topics, history and, geography and math and other, especially, kind of technical things. But really anything. And it really, really does depend on not just the Jupiter retrograde, but also the placement in the house that it's in, the sign that it's in, and then the house that it's in. The sign is just how it's expressing itself, and then the house is where in life it's showing up. So, that's one thing. The person knows what's best for them educationally and needs to do their own thing on their learning path, go their own way, follow their own rhythm. Religious views can go through many phases, from changing beliefs to fanaticism to losing faith. So there is kind of an interesting, maybe a difficult relationship with faith and trusting the universe and trusting that the situation is going to work out, and where, in order to attain the goodness and to attain the luck, it may need to include some more work. The retrograde could also, there's an R in work, so definitely. At times, there are issues with integrity laws and scruples of, this is the way that, this is. And, these are the rules, these are the, regulations, and understanding why they're put in place. And I think that by the progression of Jupiter turning direct in your lifetime, in the movie Yentl, which Barbara Streisand played in that movie, the singer, there was some, there was a song, this is one of those moments, and I find that song very, really, really ties into Jupiter retrograde, and by progression it turns direct. Taking social responsibility becomes essential as they learn how to access their Jupiter. So acting sort of, role plays of, this is what I need to do, and, kind of thing. So not as hopeful and somewhat cautious as someone, so there's a caution. Again, hesitation to take risks. Viewings, this is kind of one that, sort of resonates a little. How they view luck and money may come across as illogical, and that's, extreme. But, and there's several things I could say about money as well. But so anyway, there could be a sense of entitlement that gets in the way. Might makes right that I know, this information that I have, the facts that I have, the, the data, and also not only that, but the wisdom as well. And, I, and there's that kind of self-righteous, I'm right, you're wrong quality to this as well. And this gets in the way of further, exploration of the unknown. Can feel more restricted than those with Jupiter direct. There's a restriction of branching out and going your own way. may have issues seeing others' points of view and perspectives on the world. Putting their noses up to traditional beliefs and religions. At best, they can be innovators and change makers and icebreakers, getting through that layer and then, breaking out of the mold and, creating something new. And that sounds a lot like Aquarius, especially if Jupiter is retrograde in Aquarius, and then there again, there might be limitations with that as well. These natives could feel like they are on an unquenchable quest for the truth, or it's not enough. And it takes time for the person to move kind of on the same beach, in the same island as their Jupiter. So that's another point here. Some of them feel comfortable taking baby steps, but eventually learn to go after whims, so starting small and then, taking bigger steps. And excelling in higher education, such as philosophy and religion, etc. Becoming excellent teachers and life coaches. Having the wisdom and sort of teaching what they know and what they experience, and empowering and serving others in those, in profound ways. So they have also an excellent chance of being some of the best writers, editors, publishers, or online entrepreneurs. And ultimately, those born with this retrograde learn to access their personal abundance and prosperity. So those are, that is really my video on Jupiter retrograde in the natal birth chart. I wanted to read those to you because, it was a bolded list, and I don't need to go into a rationale for that, but anyway, that's what I wanted to refer you to at that part of the video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any more videos from me. And have a wonderful day.